So Teofimo Lopez versus Jaron Boots Ennis is being talked about for September. They're talking about putting on the Canelo versus Crawford card. Man, that's great news, right? We get to get two great fights on one card. Hopefully, they can add a few more on there, and we really get our money's worth for that card. But Timothy Bradley is making a lot of noise with his prediction on the fight. Let's take a listen.
Who get name an elite fighter that Boots Ennis has fought and beat? I'll wait. Name an elite fighter that Boots has beaten. I see the talent. I see the ability. I see all of that y'all see. But name a guy. He don't have a guy on his resume. But you know who got a guys on their resume that were elite? Teofimo Lopez.
So let's talk about him bringing up resumes and who's beat who and who hasn't, right? Teofimo Lopez, who did he beat before he fought against Lomachenko? Like he said, I'll wait. Did he beat an elite guy? Richard Coleman? That's an elite guy. You see what I'm saying? So I kill that argument just with that right there. Just on that right there, you're done. But he was able to beat an elite guy, right? Was he experienced? Did he have any experience in big fights? No, but he was able to beat the elite guy. So I don't like when people use that argument. Just because someone hasn't done it doesn't mean they can't, right? So kill me with that bullshit.
Oh, wait. 4 months ago, 5 months ago, not this time the Boots fought, but before that, when he fought against Karen, what was everybody saying? Oh, Boots ain't ready yet. Boots ain't this, Boots ain't that. Boots get hit too much.
So Timothy Bradley brings up the fact that Boots Ennis, struggled in his fight against Karen, right? And that, a lot of people was talking about how he got hit too much. And that's fine. I agree with him. I thought he got hit too much. I didn't think he looked that good against Karen. But he's not bringing up Teofimo's previous fights, right? Did we forget about Sandor Martin? Did we forget about Jermaine Ortiz? Did we forget about Steve Claggett? Steve Claggett is a straightforward, no defense, C-level fighter, and he was unable to knock him out. And in that fight, he got lumped up. Against Jermaine Ortiz, a non-puncher, he got lumped up. And a lot of people thought he lost that fight. People definitely thought he lost the Sandor Martin fight. So he struggled immensely against guys who are not elite. Right? Now, against Josh Taylor, he did a great job. He ended up winning that fight. And that's what he's talking about. Against the top tier of guys, he shows up. But one thing I'm noticing is that he thinks he's going to do the same thing he did to Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor was at 140 way too long. Anybody that knows about boxing knows that's a huge guy, bro. He had no business staying at 140. But I'm going to give Teofimo full credit for beating him. That's on him. If you want to stay there and fight and you make the weight, hey, I'm going to give you full credit for the fight. But I don't think that's the Josh Taylor that was at full strength. But at the end of the day, full credit that Teofimo gets. But I think he's going to get Boots on the same thing, right? And I don't think that's going to happen. I think Teofimo's going to find out that Boots is nothing like Josh Taylor. He's going to find that out real quick. And if he's getting lumped up against non-punchers, what you think going to happen against Boots, a much bigger fighter? What do you think is going to happen? He's going to get lumped up. His eyes is going to be shut. He's going to get knocked the fuck out, in my opinion.
The elusiveness, the lateral movement. Teo finally started to use his jab a little bit more. That shit gonna give Boots issues. The fact that Teo knows how to change his rhythm. That's what's gonna give Boots issues. Because you want to know why. Because if you go and you watch the Karen fight, and you see Karen's feet, how he's pushing forward, then he's out of range. Guess what that does to a counterpuncher? It throws him off. But a lot of y'all won't know nothing about that because you ain't never fought before. However, you just looking at, the Stanionis performance that Boots put on. Whoa, how immaculate he looked. He looked brilliant. Yes, he did look brilliant. But that was a dude that was a Gumby just dumb as hell, walking forward, not able to do nothing but just put his head right down the line and get hit. This ain't the same fighter, dude. This ain't the same fighter. This ain't the same style. This is an athletic style.
So, Tim Bradley brings up the fact that Teofimo uses his jab now, right? And that could, he can change rhythms and that can give Boots Ennis some problems. And I agree, that could give Boots Ennis some problems. But guess what? Boots has a hell of a jab too. Go back and look at the Castillo Clayton fight. He used his jab beautifully. That was the best fight I think he ever had when he used his jab. And he didn't even get touched in that fight at all. And he knocked the guy out in the second round. Right? If you look at his last fight against Stanionis, he used his jab beautifully. Right? So if he gets behind his jab and Teo's behind his jab, hey, good luck, Teofimo. Good luck. Do I think you're going to be able to beat a bigger fighter who's fast and strong and could do all the things that Boots Ennis could do in the fight, switch hit and do all that? Nah, I don't think that's going to work. You're going to need more than that jab. I'm going to tell you that right now. Right? All Boots have to do is get behind his jab too. And let's not forget, Boots throws a jab to the body beautifully. Right? Think about Teofimo. He don't. So, hey, good luck. Let's see if you can beat a bigger guy, right? Who's been at 147. This is your first fight at 147. You want to go fight, unified lineal world champion as talented as Boots Ennis. Good luck. Good luck. Hey, I wish you nothing but the best. Do I think that's going to work? No. And this has nothing to do with him being a racist piece of shit. Hey, that's what they're going to do. They're going to do what they're going to do, man. I'm not going to even respond to that bullshit. That's fine. You have an opinion about it. That's fine. Do I like Teofimo Lopez for saying racist shit? No, I don't like anybody that says racist, white, black, whatever you are, right? So I don't care about that. Let's just keep it boxing like Timothy Bradley said. So good luck with thinking that jab is going to be able to win you the fight. You may have some success, but will it win you the fight? Because Boots has a hell of a jab also, right? So I don't think that's going to work. Secondly, he's bringing up the fact that he's athletic. Well, Boots is super athletic too. I don't know why you looking at Boots like he's just a plodding, straightforward fighter that don't got nothing, just comes forward and throw punches. Like, nah, Boots is super athletic, more athletic than Teofimo. So being athletic, you're saying what? Nothing, really. You got to deal with an athletic ass, much bigger fighter who's super fast, and Boots Ennis too. Teofimo's only chance to win this fight is if Boots has stayed at this weight too long. And he's already mentioned that in previous interviews that he thinks that Boots Ennis' downfall is going to be he stayed at the weight class too long. So that's what he's banking on. I promise you, he said it. Matter of fact, let me show you that interview.
No, absolutely. But his downfall is going to be that he's at 47 for too long.
So there you have it right there. You hear him say his downfall is going to be him staying at the weight class too long, right? So that's what he's banking on. I promise you, he's banking on, Boots Ennis staying at the weight class too long. And that's the only reason he called him out, in my opinion, right? But I think at the end of the day, this is a lose-lose situation for Boots Ennis. I really do. I think this is a no-win situation for him. Why? Because at the end of the day, they're going to say he's a weight bully. I'm starting to hear that already. He's a weight bully. That's why he's winning these fights, because he's a weight bully. Now, if you take a fight with Teofimo Lopez, who's a 140-pounder, and you allow him to move up and fight in your weight class, first fight he's ever had at 147, and you fight him and you beat him, you know what people are going to say? And they're going to have a valid point. They're going to say, you're going to pull up Teofimo Lopez, 147, and fight him, but you declined to fight at 154 against Vergil Ortiz. That's going to be the next narrative. So guess what? You're going to have to go to 154 and fight Vergil Ortiz to kill that shit. To kill that noise, to kill all the bullshit. You're going to have to fight Vergil Ortiz at 154. Because it's going to look crazy. And I would have to agree with the fans who say that, right? If you're turning down a fight with Vergil Ortiz because you said you want to stay at 147 to become a unified world champion and actually win a title at 147, well, you did that. And guess what you did in return? You decided to fight Teofimo Lopez, a 140-pounder. Hey, I'm not against that. That's great. You fight him. You beat him. Now, after that, it's time to move up to 154 and start fighting the dogs at 154. And one of the main dogs you're going to have to fight is going to have to be Vergil Ortiz. You got to fight him. You got to, because you got to let them know, hey, I'll fight whoever. You know, this is just something I wanted to do. Teofimo Lopez situation came up. I fought him, and now I'm gonna go 154, and I'm gonna whoop Virgil Ortiz ass. You got to do it. That's plain and simple. Do I think Boots is gonna do it? Hell yeah. That's who he is. That's who he is to me. I can tell the fighters that really want to fight the real ones, and Boots definitely wants to fight the real ones, right? So, hey, at the end of the day, Teofimo versus Boots is a great fight. I can't wait for this to happen. I hope that is on the Canelo versus Crawford undercard. This is going to be a great night of boxing.